really cool. Okay, your head is fine.
That's not what my teacher said when I was in 8th grade. Now, I'm gonna get this off, and you should be able to see this screen on your screen. So use your screen to view. Okay, so we talked about the $1 trillion footprint, and we talked about the footprint being digital. So just like you can leave footprints in the sand, you can leave digital tracks wherever you go. But the thing about it is, you don't always know that you're leaving a footprint. And also, whereas in real life, if somebody's walking behind you, you know somebody else is leaving a footprint behind you. In the digital world, you have no idea what other people are doing to either help or hinder your digital footprint. And we talked about these 3 things. We talked about how you're going to understand what a digital footprint is, and how things that you do, no matter how secret, no matter how protective, no matter how much you think nobody's going to find out, they are always searchable. And I'm going to show this to you at the end. I have a whole bunch of friends that work for Google, and I'm talking to them about, hey, I'm doing this digital footprint thing. And, a lot of them don't understand this or that. And they go, let me show you something. They showed me something that I didn't even know was happening. And it's kind of freaky. So I want to show you guys. So once again, I'm not trying to scare you, but I want you to know what's going on so you can catch yourselves early on. Okay. And also recognize that your online footprint can either help you in your world and hinder you in the world. And then finally, consider what your footprint is and how that's going to be conveyed to other people. And we already did the poll, so we're going to just go through it. Okay. And so make sure we know that everything you do online leaves a trail. Your phone is online. Your phone is a computer. And if it's connected to Wi-Fi or connected to a cellular signal, it's considered online. And most phones, unless you have it turned off, are tracked. They're tracked. That's what GPS is. It's Global Positioning Service. It's not meant as just a map. It's meant to track you, specifically your device, and where you are at all times. So you are always being tracked, even if you don't think you are. The only way not to be tracked with your phone is to have it turned off completely and the battery removed. And guess what Apple doesn't let you do? You don't get to remove the battery. Guess what Samsung Galaxies just started not allowing you to do? Remove the battery. They're actually taking away the opportunity for you to completely go what's called off the grid with your phone if you wish. That means it can track you wherever you go. And I'm going to prove that to you using my own account that I did not know was happening. Oh, no, I need a battery. You got a battery for this thing?
I got a do you have mine? Is that my computer?
It's the same computer.
I got the one right here. I can take my battery out of my phone and plug into
All right. Perfect. And then we wanted you to understand these terms. We wanted you to understand digital footprint. And that's the stuff you leave behind digitally, but also the stuff other people leave behind you digitally. And then imagery. Imagery just means what other things represent. And then we watched the video and we saw in the video there was a lighthouse. And what did we say the lighthouse represented? When the lighthouse was searching, what did that represent?
When the people, like, when they're searching for what you're doing on your internet.
Yeah, so Golling's class, we just said that the lighthouse represented the search. And Golling's class, if someone can go up to the microphone if you have an answer to this, is the search limited to any individual or is it unlimited? Is it unlimited searching for everybody? Does anybody know?
They're coming right now. Talk.
Unlimited?
Unlimited. Unlimited, yeah. Absolutely. It's unlimited. Anybody can search. Okay? Anybody can search. And here's the problem. Not just in the United States, but all over the world. You're hearing all the time that people are being hacked, not by people in the United States, but China and Russia, Nigeria, all these places where people have free reign to do pretty much whatever they want. They're coming in and hacking American accounts. And a lot of times they're using it for blackmail and bribery and stuff like that. So, I mean, we're not to the point where we're, that famous enough to be blackmailed and bribed, but you may be one day. And you have to watch out what you're doing now. Copying and whispering, Golling's class. Did anybody remember what the copying and whispering represented?
Run up here, Alex.
It meant secrets getting spread out about a certain person.
Yeah, secrets can be spread out about a certain person. It didn't necessarily have to be any particular person you sent it to. Once somebody finds what they're searching for, they can send it to whoever they want. That includes any text messages you've sent to just random friends. That includes any text messages with pictures you've sent to just random friends. Those aren't just sent to one cell phone. Those are not sent to one single cell phone. Those pictures are sent to a database and then sent to that person's cell phone. So they don't go away. They're not from your phone, sent in the air, and the air gets them going over to somebody else's phone, and now they're only on 2 devices. It's sent through a database owned by the phone company, and all of those are saved. They're saved. They don't go archived. And so those images can then be hacked by anybody at any time. So you have to be aware of that. It is not private. Even if you think it is private, it is not private. And then once the whispers happen, in Engelbert's class, what do you think the stadium represents? Just say it louder enough for Golling's class to hear.
Broadcast.
Yeah, broadcasting to who? Everyone. It's like a jumbotron, right? You go to a 49er game. Well, you don't really want to go to a 49er game right now. But let's say you went to a 49er game and it has all the little, the people like take a, tweet here and we'll put your picture on the jumbotron. And then everybody gets to see it. That's basically what it is. Once it's been searched, once it's been copied, once it's been shared, it's broadcast to whoever wants to find it at that point. And it's permanent. You cannot undo it. And I told you, there's lots of people your age sending inappropriate pictures to people they think will never share it. And then you get in a fight and they share it. And once it's out, it's out. It's shared. It's copied. It's broadcast. And then it becomes permanent. You cannot get it back. No matter how hard your parents even try. Your parents come up and say, I want them to stop sending that picture around, or I want them to stop sending that comment around. Your parents have no power over that at that point because it's out there. It's like letting the genie out of the bottle. You can't put it back. We always think our parents can clean up our messes. When it comes to your digital footprint, they can't. It's out there. So you have to be aware what you're doing and what you're sending. Ask yourself, if what I'm sending, am I okay for that to be shown to everybody? If the answer is no, don't take that picture. Don't send that picture. Trust me. There's lots of people in this world right now who have done something like that just because they thought they were sending it in confidence. And now because of being so ashamed or because they're being teased at school or because of all these things, they can no longer go to school. Not because the school won't let them, but because they're just ashamed. And they end up not going back. And it happens in junior high, happens in high school, and it's happening a lot in college. And sometimes these students feel that they can never come back from it. And they pay the ultimate price to themselves. They end up taking their own life because they can't handle it. Just because of one mistake they didn't think was going to be that big of a deal, it ended up being a way bigger deal. And nobody can clean it up. Did you have a question?
What does it mean when it says like when you go to post a picture and it says you can't post it?
When you go to,
Like it says message failed to be sent.
oh, that just means your connection is not available at that moment, but it is in your phone. And if your phone is connected, so the question is, what does it mean if you try to post a picture and it says you can't post the picture right now? Normally that means you don't have a clear Wi-Fi or cellular signal. And what it means is once you do hit a clear signal, it'll finally post. Or even if you don't post it, if your phone has a cloud service, like the iCloud or the Google Drive or the Microsoft Cloud, it will be uploaded to their cloud system. Like when I take a picture with my Google Glass, it instantly finds a Wi-Fi signal and uploads it right to my Google Drive. I don't have to do a thing. It does it automatically, right? So, you know, it happens constantly, but it will eventually be uploaded. If it's on your phone, it's accessible. Yes?
What's the purpose of them saving these text messages?
So the government has asked all of the companies to make sure that they save all communications between all American citizens for the purpose of national security. And that's where you get the NSA, the National Security Agency, which was here to protect us from enemies, foreign and domestic, mainly terrorists after 9/11. And they started saving everything so that if they wanted to, if they thought somebody may possibly be a threat to the United States, they can search all of their text messages as far back as they wanted so that they can see who they're talking to, what they're talking, what they're planning. But the problem is everybody's is being saved. And there was somebody called Edward Snowden that knew about this and released the documents. And these documents were top secret, confidential for the United States. And now he's a fugitive living in Russia under asylum. And asylum means you're wanted by your home country for treason or some other crime. And you go to a place where they will not send you back. And you ask for asylum, meaning I don't want to be a citizen of your country, but I would like to live here forever because if I go anywhere else, I'll be going to jail. And so he's asked for asylum, and he's been living in Russia for the past year and a half because of that. Some say he is a hero for letting us know. Others say he took the trust of the United States and decided to send top secret materials out. So it's completely up to how you take that into perspective on whether you think he did the right thing or he did the wrong thing. And there's a big debate that you could have on whether he did or not, right? To me, there's really no right or wrong answer, but I do believe that we as Americans do deserve to know what is being saved and collected. And I'm going to show you at the end of this exactly what is being saved and collected by one single company. And every company is doing this, but I'm going to show you how to actually erase it to help you out. Okay, but I don't know how all the other companies do it. So, just be aware. And then we talked a little bit about you kind of being someone looking for you're a boss and you were looking to hire somebody to be the announcer at the newest television show. And when you want to hire somebody for a television show, you want to make sure that you vet them well. And what the word vet means you want to look at their past. You want to look at everything they are so that if anything happens or if anybody wants to dig up some dirt on them, they come back clean, right? So they go through the digital footprint early on when they hire somebody. Same thing with when you go to college, right? You write your essay to go to college and they look at your grades and they look at your SATs. They look at all of that, but they also look at all of your social media. They look at what you're doing on your social media. They look and see what you're doing in your free time because everybody knows that when you want a job or you want to get into a school, you put your best foot forward. So what they do is they go back and look at your digital feed and see what you do in your spare time to see if you're really the person you're trying to say you are. And so we looked at Linda and Jason. We looked at Linda and Jason and we saw that their profiles were nice. I mean, her picture was nice. His picture was nice, very clean cut. Somebody you wouldn't mind putting in front of an American audience. But then when we really digged into their social media, some of us found some things that didn't quite fit. Did anybody remember something they found out about Linda that, you know, you're like, you thought she was nice, and then you're like, wait a minute. Okay, we'll go to Engelbert's class here to start, and then in Galling's class, remember about Jason and see what Jason said that made you turn his image around just a little bit. So just come up here and speak a little bit loud so Galling's class can hear about Linda.
When she posted a picture of what she made, air quotes, somebody posted that might be what she had at Mimi's.
At Mimi's, absolutely. And you know what? I'm glad. I mean, so what this tells me is, you know, what we talked about last week actually resonated a little bit with you guys. If you could remember that, right, that we took a little bit of time on it, and you guys remember that, that shows me that it actually stuck a little bit, which is fantastic. And yeah, so Linda posted, hey, look what I made. And then in that Instagram post, if you saw a comment, the comment was, you didn't make that. You bought that at Mimi's, right? And everybody said that made Linda a liar. But think about it. Did Linda do anything to make you think she was a liar? No. Who made you think Linda was a liar?
The person that,
The other person. The other person. Now, think about that for a second. You've read all these things about Linda. You're getting to know Linda through all these things. But one person you don't know, you've never met, you have no idea who this person is. One person leaves a comment on her picture saying, you didn't make that. Now your whole idea of her has changed. Her digital footprint was tarnished. That means made dirty. That means made wrong looking. Her digital footprint was tarnished because of what someone else said. Did Linda have any control over what somebody else said? No. Could she have? Yeah, she could have made her posts more private and only allowed her friends to post on there, right? And some of you may say, well, how do we know her posts weren't private? Because we're the producers of the show and we were able to find it. That means it's not private. So we don't know if that person who made that comment is truly her friend. We don't know if someone, maybe that's her arch enemy. And every post she makes, that person goes in and tries to contradict her to make her look bad. We don't know, but we made the assumption that it was true. And we have to make sure that we don't make that assumption. Now, think about you now. Do you have control over who leaves posts on your pictures? Do you have control over what people are posting about you behind your back? Because there's one thing about people talking behind your back. Now it's about people posting in front of your face, and you have no control over what people are saying. And you have no control over how people are perceiving you after those posts are made. You have no control over that.
Colleges are like jobs. Like if you delete the comment, can they still see it?
Now the colleges, if you delete those comments, they can't, but they're still archived in the Instagram archives. All the companies archive everything, even Snapchat. Even Snapchat, where you think those go away. Even Snapchat archives everything. Yes.
You guys let that's one. You can go to settings and you could put like no comments, like you prevent people from.
Yes. They can't hack, and that's a very good option for when you post something that you just want to say to somebody, but you don't want comments, is to make sure you say no comments. A lot of companies are only allowing, you know, public can view, but only my friends, meaning the people you friended, can leave comments. Okay, so please, I absolutely implore you to make sure you go through any of your social media and double check your settings. Make sure it is locked down to only your family and your friends, and that the comments being left are locked down to only your family or your friends. The thing is, a lot of us are just all willy-nilly making a social media account and just posting it to everybody. Because face it, a lot of you brag, oh, I have 30,000 friends. Well, they're not your friends. And you're allowing 30,000 people the possibility of tarnishing your digital footprint. You don't want to be turned down to get into the college you want because of one of your 30,000, air quotes, 30,000 friends who are leaving bad comments about you. You don't want to do it. It's not about how many friends you have, how many followers you have. It's about how many quality people have access to your personal information. So if you and your friends are trying to go out there and see how many friends can I get, how many followers can I get, you're in for a big surprise when bad things start to happen. Yes.
If you like delete, like let's say you have Instagram, if you delete Instagram, is all of that gone?
Nope.
Or is it still saved?
If you delete your social media profile, it's still archived in the company's archive. It's still there. Okay. Now, Golling's class, you've had some time. What about Jason? What are some things about Jason that you can remember that you said, oh, he's a good guy, and then you came back and said, wait a minute, he is also a liar? So Golling's class, anybody in Golling's class?
They're running out right now.
He took steroids.
Yeah, so if you read along, he got in trouble in, it was either high school or college. He was a wrestler, right, Joe? He was a wrestler, and he was taking steroids, okay? But do we remember if he's the one that posted that, or do we remember if maybe somebody else posted that? Because we all know that the sports culture out there, you have a lot of people that are quote unquote haters, right? And you have people that are out there trying, if you're doing a good job, you got a lot of people trying to bring you down. And we all know that when you're on top, that's the place people don't want you. They want to try to bring you down. So do we know for a fact that he took steroids, or maybe it was just a rumor that was starting to be spread on his side, right? Was there anything else, Golling's class, that made us think maybe Jason wasn't the kind of person that we wanted to hire?
Well, on his Facebook, he said he was in a band, and then a girl, I think, commented, Jason, can you be the lead singer of our band? And he didn't respond.
Yeah, so he said he was a lead singer of a band, and he wasn't, right? And then I remember somebody commented that on one of his social media sites, he was married, and then another social media site, he wasn't. And that's bad, right? Especially if he's married and his wife finds out. You know what I mean? But here's the thing. A long, long time ago, in a galaxy not far away here, there was this town on the internet called MySpace. And this town called MySpace, which was all the rage in 2003, 2004, 2005, and 2006. Everybody used MySpace. And they posted their profile, they posted their relationship status, they did all this stuff. But pretty soon, the town of MySpace got so overcrowded and so crazy and just so muddled with people wanted to kind of get out. And so they looked over the hill and they saw the sun shining bright, and they saw another town opening up. And guess what that town was called? Facebook. And Facebook was cleaner. It limited what you can do. So it allowed you to just keep a regular stream, and it didn't really let you change the backgrounds, because MySpace was completely, you got to change whatever you wanted. But Facebook is more linear. And people thought that cleanliness was much better. And so they didn't even pack up from MySpace. They just left it. They left it like a ghost town. And everything they had there, they just left behind. And then they joined Facebook. Well, do you think way back then when MySpace was around, Jason was married? No. But now Facebook's around, and that's the one he kept up. Now he is married. You think he went back and goes, oh, you know what? I better go back and change my status on the social media I never use anymore. No. But is it down? No, it's still up. So his Facebook profile is still up, even though he hasn't touched it in 8 years. And it says single. And his Facebook profile, which he touches every day, says married. So he may not be lying. We must be misconstruing the facts. I mean, we don't understand that he doesn't go to MySpace anymore. So you have to always keep that in mind. I always try to find the good in people, and I always try to look at it into a different perspective. But the problem is, students your age, do they try to do that for you? No, they do not. They look at it and they go, ah, ha, ha, gotcha. And they go all around school. Guess what they're doing? Guess what's happening? guess this, they said this and they said that, and it starts getting out of control, and you have no control over it. And while this is snowballing into a bigger and bigger issue, you're not doing anything. But your footprint is getting muddier and muddier, and you didn't do it. You didn't do any of that. We have to be aware of this. So even though MySpace and all these other companies do archive their things, it's much harder to search when you delete the account. When you delete the old account, at least it's harder to search, and it doesn't come up in search engines as easy. It doesn't ever disappear, but it's much harder for the average person to search it. So if you do have old accounts, go back and delete them. Go back and delete them so people can't misconstrue what's going on. And the whole point of that was to let you guys understand that your digital footprint makes up who people think you are without even meeting you. And other people can muddy that footprint. What we have to start doing at this age is limiting the people that can do that to us. We have to limit the ability of other people messing around with our digital footprint. Question?
Like if you're going to delete an account that you haven't used, what if you don't know the password?
That's a difficult thing. You're gonna have to contact the company and figure out a way to get on there. But yeah, that's one thing about passwords. If you forget them, even you're locked out, right? So we talked about that. We talked about that, and we all filled these in. So we took the quiz and we went to the thank you part. So I want to show you really quick what it looks like when a company is actually collecting data on you without you knowing. Okay, so if you look at the screen, I'm going to go to, and you can do this on your own as well. I'm going to go to history.google.com. They track by day, by week, by hour, everything you do. So yesterday, I was looking for some toys for my niece. Her birthday's coming up. And so Toy Wiz, Toys R Us, the Shirt List, all of these things that I was searching for so I can buy her some toys, pops up. All of it. Everything that I searched, Chichen Itza, because I'm showing my students where I went over the summer vacation, pops up. All the different web activities I've done, pops up. All the different websites I've visited, pops up. And it's saved and archived. And it is, if you look at the top, only you can see this data, but only you and who else? Everybody working at Google. Everybody. And if Google gets hacked, guess who can then see it? Everybody. But that's not it. Watch this. Has anybody ever used Siri before? Ask Siri a question. Has anybody ever used OK Google? Right? OK Google, watch this. Every search you make is saved. Every one. All the good ones, all the bad ones. Siri does this. Google does this. Microsoft's Corianda or Coriolette, whatever, whoever her name is now, does this. The new Amazon one, the one that is just a little tube and you talk to it and it gives you information right back. They all save everything. These are short snippets of the searches, but they also save all your phone calls. AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile. Every phone call you make is archived and saved as a digital file and searched. So the things that you're talking privately with your friends, it is not private. It is saved. Now, the average person can't really go in there and find it, but if you become famous and people start searching really deep for the things that you've done, they will find it. And they won't care that you were in junior high. All they'll say is look at what they are saying. They won't say when. They'll just take out the bad parts to make you look bad. That's not it. Watch this. Every single location you've ever been. Every single location your phone has been is archived. So I went to Hawaii about 3 years ago. It's there. I travel all up and down California to present at different schools on technology. They're all there. I was hired over the summer to work in Texas at a school district to help them out. I was scheduled to work in Dallas and Houston and Austin. I went to Chichen Itza over the summer. It's there. Every single place you go, it saves it and records your history. What about the things you watch on YouTube? Every single video you've ever watched is saved and archived. So when Back to the Future Day, I went all over looking for Back to the Future stuff. I teach a master's class, and so I'm watching all of the videos my master's students are recording so I can grade them. Every YouTube video you have ever watched can be searched. Every one. And then finally, every YouTube video you've ever searched can be watched. Yeah, it's going to be a good movie. So you can't watch it, though. It's rated R. But here's the thing. Watch this. I'm going to save you. Because if you go to the settings, which is this button, that button right there, if you click on that button and go to settings, if you uncheck this option, Google will stop doing all of it. Do you think Google tells people this? No. I'm really into Google. I've been to Google headquarters. I'm wearing Google on my face. I found out about this on Monday. So, now, are there benefits to it? Yes, because once they start understanding what you like, the searches you make will be much easier, and the returns back to you will be much easier, and your phone will start predicting what you like and what you want to do, and it'll start bringing up the searches that are most likely what you're looking for. So it does make your life easier. But if you're looking for the wrong things or you're doing the bad things, those are all being archived and saved. Apple's doing it, Microsoft's doing it, and Google is doing it. Once again, not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this to prepare you. You need to be prepared and understand that these companies need data. They need data so that they can make their products better. They need data so they can predict what the next big trends are to cater to you. But the data can also be collected by other people and used in a different way. So I just want you to be well aware. Your digital footprint is being left behind, not only by you, but by other people. Your digital footprint is going to either make you or break you. And we talked a little bit about how it can make you, right? I told you that over the summer, I was contacted by a Fresno Pacific University to become a professor there to teach a master's course in multimedia educational technology. I never put in an application. I never went over there and asked, hey, are you hiring? They called me because of my digital footprint. They called me because everybody they asked, who should we hire? They pointed to me. And the people that pointed to me, I've never met. I've only met them on Twitter and through my digital footprint. So your digital footprint can open doors. But if you don't take care of it at an early age, it can start closing them really, really fast. And I do this, and Mrs. Engelbert and Mrs. Galling have asked me to do this because we all care 100% about you. And there's too many students who are getting caught up in a bad situation because nobody has ever told them about this. And we can't expect you to prepare yourself and protect yourself if you're not told how to. So once again, not doing this to scare you. I'm doing it to prepare you. You need to be prepared in this digital world that you're entering, that you're constantly being surrounded by this influx of information, but also data mining, meaning data that's being collected by everybody, and mining, meaning people are going to go in and search for it. I want you to be well prepared. Your parents might have said to you early on, be careful about the friends that you make. Be careful about the friends you let on your social media. Be careful about your posts and your comments and your settings that you put in social media. Because as you saw with Linda and Jason, you may have never met them, but you started to have an idea of who was good and who was bad. And they didn't have a chance to explain themselves. Neither will you. So please tread lightly in these situations. All right, guys? All right. Much better class today. I know I was picking on you a little bit, Sebastian, but I appreciate you listening, and I appreciate each and every one of you taking the time to let me come back and explain to you why we wanted to do this. Okay, thank you, everybody. So I'm going to take some questions from Engelbert's class, and then I'll walk over to Galling's class and take some questions as well. But I am going to end the broadcast right now. And you were being recorded as well, so I'm going to stop the broadcast.